Hello. Hello, I'm Evelyn Charmer. Welcome to Ed Elf Child Therapy. I just wanted to do a quick introductory short video just to talk to you about Ed Elf, what it's all about, how to access it, and what to expect, and a little bit of background on me as well, just so you know who I am and what where I'm coming from. So we'll start with that, I think. So I have given up my role in a special needs school. I was an assistant head teacher and head of safeguarding and compliance, and I was head of boarding as well for a few years at North East Manor School, which is a special needs school down in Sussex for children with special educational needs, neurodiverse conditions such as autism and Asperger's and mild learning difficulties. And I was there for about 6 years. And some of that time I did work therapeutically as well. I'm a qualified hypnotherapist and I specialise in paediatric hypnotherapy, but I also work with adults and young adults. But Ed Elf is all about working with both neurotypical and neurodiverse children and young people between the ages of 5 and 25. So it's open to young adults as well. That's why we have the slogan of being inclusive of all growing ups, because it's my belief that we never fully grow up. We're always growing ups. So do have a look at the website for more information. It's edelfchildtherapy.com, and you can find us on Facebook as well, Facebook/edelf child therapy. So yeah, a bit of what it's about then. So in terms of therapy, the majority of the work that I do now since the first lockdown a year ago is via video link. And I've continued to do that and probably will continue to do that simply because it's really accessible. All of the children and young people and parents and carers that have used the video link therapeutic services that I offer have found it really beneficial to have the option to have the camera on or off. It's a safety issue as well, because it means that there's always an adult present. That it can be done from the safety of your own home and your own environment, which can put a young person at ease. And also it means that you're not being charged for additional travel time and things in between appointments. I'm not having to run around, you're not having to run around. So it's a time saver as well as a money saving option. It keeps the costs down. So before I worked in special needs, I've had a long history, 36 years this year, of working with children and families in a variety of roles. I've worked with children who are looked after, children in children's homes, in secure units with very challenging behaviours, foster children and adopted young people. I've worked as a youth worker and sex and relationship advice worker. I've worked in secondary schools teaching PSHE and sex and relationship education. I'm not a qualified teacher, and I did that as part of my role as a rural youth worker alongside healthy schools. I've worked as an early help manager alongside social services and children's services, helping to get support for families in need of help. And coordinate family assessments and family plans, which includes bringing in all sorts of different agencies and services to support families and children. And I've done a lot of work in training. So I've been a training manager for a child safety charity called Safety Net in Brighton and Hove, who used to be part of the Children's Society. And I've also been an independent trainer since 2006, designing and delivering training for schools and community and voluntary services across the South and also across parts of the UK. And now that I have focusing everything onto Ed Elf, I do face-to-face training, and I do offer face-to-face appointments for people as well. But because a lot of people have been used to working on video now, even in terms of accessing lessons, etc., and meetings, it means that Ed Elf can reach children and young people all across the UK, and we are doing some work with some children and people in the States and in Australia as well. So don't feel that distance is any object when it comes to accessing the therapies on offer. So what therapies are on offer? Well, predominantly, as I said, I'm a qualified hypnotherapist. I qualified in 2004, and I've worked as a therapist in between other jobs and alongside other roles as well since then. And I'm now a fully registered paediatric hypnotherapist specialising in children and young people. I've also got qualifications and certificates in CBT, cognitive behaviour therapy, and in brief solution focused therapy. They work really well together. And I've done a lot of work over the years with something called protective behaviours. And you can look these things up on the internet, or you can watch some further videos to find out more information through this channel. Another thing that I work with young people, particularly those who are struggling with emotional regulation, is something called the zones of regulation. Again, there'll be a video on that later. So what sort of things do you expect when you come to EdElf? Well, first of all, I always offer an initial free consultation. So it lasts about half an hour. It's just an initial chat. We can do that on video if you prefer, or we can do it on the phone, or we can do it by email, whatever works best for you and your family. And that's just to get a general kind of gist of what the issues are, what challenges are you facing, and what kind of outcomes you'd like, and whether EdElf is the right fit for you and your family in terms of therapy. You can self-refer if you are over 16, but there is a caveat to that, and that is about whether you are what's called GILIC competent to make that decision. So it may be that we have an initial conversation if you're over the age of 16 and under 18, and we might decide between us that actually it'd be better to get consent from a parent or guardian. But we will have that conversation confidentially, and then you can go away and make your decision based on what we agree. Anybody over 18 obviously can self-refer, and for anyone under 16 it needs to be somebody with parental responsibility. So when you've had your initial chat with me, if you wish to go further, then I usually will offer an hour to 2 hour consultation, which is fee paying, and you can choose to go straight to that if you prefer. And with that, we'll go into more thorough information, medical information, etc. And on that level, I just need you to know that I am fully GDPR compliant, and I am registered with the Information Commissioner's Office, and I do follow data protection law so that your information is stored safely and confidentially, and all the rest of it. And you can have a look on my website. I do actually have my privacy policy, which is all about what data I use and why and what happens to it, so that you're fully in the know about that. There's no surprises there. If ever I need to share any information about you or your child or children with any of the services, I will only do that with your consent and after having a conversation with you about that. There are other things that I can do, you see, in terms of, as well as offering the sessions of therapy, which is I might be inputting into anything that schools might use, like a risk reduction plan, if there's been any harmful behaviours that are of concern. So that would be the kind of information that I would need to discuss with you and get your consent to share with schools. And if school approached me, I would come to you and let you know that, and speak to you first as well. And just to reassure you that I'm fully insured and qualified to do this role, and also I'm registered with something called the CNHC, which is the Complementary and Natural Healthcare Council, and they oversee therapists in the UK. You can go onto their website and you can check out that I'm there as Evelyn Charmer under their registration. And they in turn are regulated by the Professional Standards Agency. I'm also registered with the International Society of paediatric hypnotherapists as well, who are also regulated by the Professional Standards Agency. I would never recommend that you choose a therapist who isn't regulated and registered with a reputable agency. Those checks that are done by those authorities include looking at your insurance and your qualifications and your continuing professional development, and whether there's been any complaints against you and whether you are compliant within the law of how you practice. So it's really important that you work with therapists who can prove all of that and evidence that. So I've started this channel so that I can help therapy be a bit more accessible to people. I want people to be able to know exactly what to expect before they commit to any therapy. So I'll be uploading a variety of videos on the different types of interventions that I use. And I'll be doing some frequently asked questions about particularly hypnotherapy, which seems to be something that people get quite concerned about sometimes, or have a lot of questions about, and rightly so. So hopefully a bit of myth busting. If there's anything that you want to know and you can't find that in any of my videos, do feel free to email me at evelynne@outlook.com, and that's spelled EVALYNNECHARMER @outlook.com, or you can contact me through the website www.edelfchildtherapy.com, or you can give us a call on 01482 887 095. Leave your name and number if I'm not available to talk to you, and I will call you back within the week. Waiting lists. At the moment, most children, young people who access EdElf access around 6 sessions. Some are with me for 6 months or longer, depending on their problems and issues that need resolving and their own additional needs. But most young people will have about 6 sessions. Some may have up to 12, and some may last longer. But just so you know that because of that, the waiting list can fluctuate slightly. But at the moment, and over the last few months, the longest anyone's been waiting for to start their sessions with me has been 3 to 4 weeks. And I can work with children on any day between Monday and Saturday. I don't work Sundays. And I can work up until around 6 o'clock. So I can do after school stuff at home. And the other thing to note is that schools have been really on board with facilitating sessions within school days, so that I can see your child within the school day, which sometimes can be better as well. And they're in a safe environment with a trusted adult around. So that is an option. So yeah, I mean, do look out for further videos coming up, and please share, subscribe to the channel and share. I will be hopefully uploading more videos as we go. I'm going to try and do one a week on a different topic. And if there's anything particular you'd like me to post about, then please do let me know, and I'll try my best to do that for you. Any questions, do get in touch. So do take care, and I'll see you on the other side. Stay safe, everybody.